Hi, I'm Ann Moore Knapp, and I am the first vice president for Northwest Pastel Society, and I'm the lead for the 37th annual international show, which is totally online this year. It will be hosted by Online Gallery Shows, which is a co-business of Online Juried Shows, which is where you go to apply for entry for the show. It's a unique show in that all pastel artwork to be sold unframed, and it's shipped anywhere in the lower 48 states with the shipping included in the price. And you have to ship within 7 days. But we've done everything we can to make it easy for you, the artist, to go through this process easily and know what you're doing. So, this is a really effective model for increased sales. And today I'm showing you how best to profit from this opportunity. The key is to know how to pack unframed pastels so that you're confident that your work will get there safely and affordably. So where do you start? You print the prospectus, the whole prospectus, all 4 pages. The last page actually has a worksheet so that you can figure out how to properly price your artwork to get the value that you put into it, plus the commission, plus any costs, especially shipping. So by using the method that I'm going to show you now, you are going to be able to know what you're getting into. So the first thing you do is you go down to your local post office and you want to get a priority mail box. And this is the medium size. That's kind of my go-to size. It fits 8 by 10, 9 by 12, almost fits 11 by 14. I would probably slice it down a little and make sure I had enough packing around it, but you wouldn't have to lose much, and it would still work really well for a customer inside 11 by 14 frame, kind of mounted correctly. For $17.10, you can ship this box with your artwork packed in it anywhere in the lower 48 states. It's insured for $100, but you can add additional insurance because you should always insure for your complete price. So your next step is to gather all your supplies in one place. You have a nice clean area, it's cleaned off, you have everything you need. A million pieces of tape probably already lined up on the edge of the table for you to take off. Scissors, I'm on a cutting board so I can use a knife and a metal ruler to cut my foam core down to size. I pre-cut my foam core down to the size that I'm going to need to protect my artwork and fit into the box with a little room for packing. So you want to kind of have all that ready to go first thing. And then I'll talk about hinging artwork that is not mounted yet. So here is a print, or not a print, it's original pastel that is hinged onto a piece of foam board for travel. It's on a fairly heavy page, but it's not enough to stand alone. So I'm going to put, what I've done is I put a piece of tape, all of these are like 1.5 inches. You can use hinging tape, you can use artist tape, you can safely use masking tape, but I don't usually do that. I'm always worried about ripping some of the paper off the back or something like that. So I've used artist tape here. And you put it sticky side facing the back of your pastel artwork, and you have it hanging out a good 3/4 inch off all sides. You're going to do 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. If you have a bigger piece, I would use possibly more or longer pieces going horizontally, like on the front top surface, so that you've got enough that you're holding on to. And then you lay that centered on the piece, and you take another piece of the same sort of tape and you lay it the opposite direction. If you went vertically, you're going horizontally across the sticky side of the tape down to the board and the piece that's there to hold that sticky piece there. So that's a very strong surface of holding your piece to the board. I fold any little ends over the top. It's kind of belt and suspenders there, so nice and safe. So I've got it stretched nicely across the face of the board so it's safe. I also tape some glassine paper onto onto my board on the corner, and I'm going to very carefully pull it across my painting and my face and make sure it's nice and flat. And I have tape already on the edge so that I can tape it right around the edge. And this is your first level of safety for your pastel. The glassine is archival. It doesn't remove any paint or pastel off your piece. And then I immediately put another piece of foam core, exactly the same size, to match that. So I got them back to back and the little pastel stuck in the middle. And I'm going to tape all 4 corners with masking tape. And that is your second level of security. And your third level of security is to put another piece of foam core here, another piece of foam core here, and also tape it all 4 corners, maybe in 8 places, because the thing you want is a secure, tight package. This baby is not going to move in the center. There's not going to be any rubbing. There's no other pieces in there to interfere with anything. It's a very flat, extremely protected surface. And this is the core of getting your painting safely to your buyer. Is creating that wonderful package of 2 pieces of foam core in the front, 2 pieces of foam core in the back, everything individually taped, the glassines against the top surface of your pastel. This baby's good to go. So the next little bit of a layer that you want to do is I'm including in the handout kind of list that's going to be online the thing to put about, this is where you should open it and this is what you should do, so you're not leaving it open for the cat to walk on it, and close it up, please, until you can get to your framer. But they're going to want to peek. They're going to be excited to get it, and they're going to want to look. Make sure it's okay. Look at the colors. Get excited. Okay, that's all right. But tell them to close it back up. Also, great piece included, a wonderful piece about framing, how to frame and how to handle this and precautions to take. Is from Lisa Ober, and she is in IAP's master circles, and it's the best piece I've seen on this. So we've included a link to that on the website. You also want to layer on, not in with the artwork, but on top, little thank you note, your card, any recent shows you've been in, your little artist bio, the short one, not the huge one with the CV. And you're going to have it as a nice little piece for them to open. And then you're going to layer on your wrap to make it safe in the box. We're almost to the end here. So I have taken bubble wrap that is left over from other packages, and I've cut it down, and my first layer I do really almost exactly what the size is, but I wrap it all the way around the girth wise and attach that together. Then I do a piece that gives me a little bit of extra that goes and wraps, I wrap the opposite direction, and I have enough going over the ends, because your box is a little longer than like the 9x12, so I need a little bit to cushion all the edges. I don't want any broken corners or anything. Well, it wouldn't break corners anyway, but it's going to be okay. But I really want it safe. I want it to look pristine when it comes there. I want to be really confident. I want my buyer confident when they get it, that it's so well packed. So you're going to have to test fit it. So I put it in here, and I will hold all of these little ends down and closed, and I'm going to shake it good, and I don't hear any movement. Now, sometimes I touch the top surface and I see that there's a little indenting. And I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but if I take a piece of unprinted newspaper and I reach it like this and slide it in the box and spread it out, I can get a really nice little firmer spot on here where I know that there won't be any settling, there won't be any rattling as it gets further down the road. It's going to be really solid in that box. When I know where this is going, the most important thing you need to remember first thing is, besides your thank you note in there, you need to have a ship to, send to tag inside the box always when you ship. Because something happens where they can't read the outside, you don't want it lost in Paducah and nobody knows who it's supposed to go to. So you want to make sure you have that in there and your stuff in correctly with this. You want to make sure that when you're satisfied that everything is really tight and you've got the sale, that you also, after you use, actually USPS gives you really good tape to tape it down, but I use my cellophane packing tape to cover all the little corners and all the little edges. If I printed anything to put on the outside of the box, I know a lot of people like to print their own tags so that they go down there and make sure that you're covered with the clear cellophane tape, because that ink on the printer, you one drop of rain on that and all of a sudden they can't read the address, so you don't want that. So make sure that's done. And then you're going to physically take this down to the post office, and this is why. You need to buy additional insurance to cover the value of your piece and the commission and the shipping. You want them to give you the straight word with you asking questions, whatever. Let the line back up. It's okay. You don't do this that often. And they're going to print a special barcoded tag that they want in exactly the right place for their machines. And it is not necessarily intuitive for us. So let them do it. That's what they get paid to do. Then once everything is done there, and they'll tell you, you can say, when do you think it's going to get to the end of Maine or Key West, Florida, or wherever it's going, Scottsdale, and they'll say, 3 to 5 days, whatever. This is pretty fast shipping, which the less time is in the mail, the better I feel about things. So then you have the information to go home and email your customer and say, this came down as 3 to 5 days to get to your area. So watch for it and let me know when you get it. I'm excited to, see when it arrives. So you can also get notification when it is signed for if you want to do that. It's a little extra expense, but it might be good for you to do. And I hope that helps. Let me check on one more thing. Okay, so the last thing is make sure you look at all the little additional things that we've put on the website. I've given you little things about fragile this side up, and it's ship to, send to things where you can fill it in. Actually, you could download the form and I think you could put it in, you could type everything and it looks so much more professional. So anyway, best of luck and get painting. Thank you.